In a stunning move, yet another House Republican, Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin, just announced that he's retiring from Congress. The move comes on the day that Republican Congressman Ken Buck is retiring. The move by Gallagher will sink Mike Johnson's House majority to one single seat. How is that for disaster by today's House GOP? The irony of all of this? Only 1 week ago, Mike Johnson was complaining that Ken Buck had only given him half an hour's notice of his own retirement. Quote, lots of notice, 30 minutes, yeah. Before continuing on and saying, I think, I hope, and I believe that that's the end of the exits for now. And look, I'm not going to tell the Republican Speaker how to do his job, but perhaps Mike Johnson should avoid the prediction game. The Wisconsin Republican had already announced that he wouldn't seek re-election after he contended with major blowback for refusing to vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. But what Republicans didn't expect was that he would actually bail on the full term and instead retire just a few weeks from now. According to Gallagher, he was long jaded by the antics of the House after McCarthy was ousted as Speaker. In other words, while the chaos may help chaos agents like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan, it's only hurting the GOP more broadly. And yet, that's become a recurring theme in today's Republican Party. The purveyors of dysfunction regularly throw their own party into chaos because it benefits them specifically. The Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the party want the chaos because it builds up their brand. They get on TV, they get on the internet, they get clicks, they can send emails and fundraise off it, they get attention. And in an attention economy, that's all they want. They don't care if they have to burn down their own party, their own government, their own democracy to get it. And speaking of attention, that's exactly what Greene got today when she did this.
I filed the motion to vacate today, but it's more of a warning and a pink slip. I respect our conference. I paid all my dues to my conference. I'm a member in good standing, and I do not wish to inflict pain on our conference and to throw the House in chaos. But this is basically a warning, and it's time for us to go through the process, take our time, and find a new Speaker of the House that will stand with Republicans and our Republican majority instead of standing with the Democrats.
That's a warning. If it's a warning, if it's a warning, does that mean that you're actually not going to go through and force this vote?
No, I will. There's
nothing that can convince you to back off.
There's not a time limit on this. It doesn't have to be forced and throw the House into chaos. I don't want to put any of our members in a difficult place like we were for 3.5 weeks. We're going to continue our committee work. We're going to continue our investigations. There's a lot of good investigations going that have to be able to proceed, and the American people deserve that. But I'm not saying that it won't happen in 2 weeks or it won't happen in a month or who knows when. But I am saying the clock has started. It's time for our conference to choose a new speaker.
Do you believe that there are more Republicans who support this push? And ultimately, if this does get filed, it could lead to exactly what you're saying, more chaos, more paralysis. Does the House Republican conference want to move forward with that?
It's filed, but it's not voted on. It only voted on until I call it to the floor for a vote.
That was Greene introducing a motion to vacate against Mike Johnson. Why? Because he committed the cardinal sin of passing a budget to keep the government open. That's it. Mike Johnson saw the virtue in not cratering our economy and shutting down essential services and sending millions of Americans home without paychecks, and all of that was a bridge too far for Marjorie Taylor Greene. The problem is that now, with fewer and fewer Republicans actually in the House, we may soon be in a situation where, with only a one-seat majority, if Republicans don't have their full conference for a potential motion to vacate vote, they could actually lose the speakership to Hakeem Jeffries, which I suppose is exactly the level of dysfunction that would make sense for today's GOP. And let's be clear, this is the exact dysfunction that caused Mike Gallagher to quit in the first place. I mean, talk about cause and effect. You could not have a clearer indication of why the House GOP's majority is flailing than this exact shenanigan that someone like Greene is pulling right now. So if someone like Greene is wondering why Republicans will have less and less power moving forward, she might want to consult a mirror. In the meantime, I hope that the American people are watching this and taking the lesson out of it that's becoming clear as day. Even Republican lawmakers are conceding that their party does not know how to wield power, does not know how to govern. They are leaving because there is no point to being there. Unless you're trying to build your social media following like Greene or Gaetz, then there are no laws getting passed, there are no bills advancing, they're not lowering costs or making healthcare more affordable or creating jobs. It's just a few lunatics demanding attention for their own personal brand building purposes. It is the Marjorie Taylor Greene show, so frankly, it's no wonder that no one else wants to be a part of it. As for the rest of us, as we see people like Ken Buck and Mike Gallagher run for the hills, remember that if Republicans are in the majority next cycle, it is the Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the party who actually get emboldened. Not the elusive moderates, but the extremists. So when you cast your ballots in November, remember that there's the Democrats, and then there's Marjorie Taylor Greene, and there's nothing in between. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.